Okay, the last section of your test review is what this video will cover. So number one, solve for the area of the rectangle. So to solve for an area of a rectangle, we should know that we do base times height. So here, that means I'm going to do x to the 5th times x to the 7th. So if I expand that out, x times x times x times x times x, and then x to the 7th. So I have x to the 5th. I also have x to the 7th. And that would make x to the 12th. Number two, a room has dimensions of negative 4x to the negative 2nd feet by negative 5x to the 2nd y feet. How many square feet of carpet would be needed to carpet the entire room? Okay, so I want to know how many square feet. So again, I'm looking at area, base times height. So I want to do negative 4x to the negative 2nd power times negative 5x squared y. Okay, so I'm going to really just kind of do away with these parentheses. So negative 4x to the negative 2nd times negative 5x to the 2nd y. I'm going to go ahead and take care of negative 4 times negative 5, which is positive 20. And then I also know that this x to the negative 2nd is going to go to my denominator. And then I have x to the 2nd at the top and still y. Now I'm going to expand that out. So I have 20 times x times y, and I have x times x. So eliminating my x's, they will cancel each other out because x divided by x is 1. I'll be left with 20, 20y. Number 3, the school needs to replace the soil in the square garden outside. If one side is 5 times 5x to the 3rd over 2 feet long, how much soil will they need? Okay, so since it is a square garden, I know that I have equal sides. Again, I'm looking for the area because I want to know how much soil will they need, so it's going to cover an area. Since it's a square, I'm going to square it or multiply it by itself. So I want 2 of everything that's inside. So I know, let's start with that 5 times 5. And then I want 2 of 5x to the 3rd. So times 5x to the 3rd times 5x to the 3rd. And I want 2 of the denominator. So times over 2. Here, let's over 2 times 2. So I can expand this out a little bit more, but I'm going to take care of this 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, actually. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125, and then 125 times 5 is 625. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625. And then I have that x to the 3rd times x times x times x, and then another x to the 3rd. And then I have 2 times 2, which makes 4. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so I can rewrite this x to the 3rd twice as x to the 6th. So I have 625 x to the 6 over 4. And I can check in my calculator to make sure 625 divided by 4 can't simplify anymore, and I don't think it can. So this would be my answer. Okay, number 4. The area of the following rectangle is 24x to the 8th. Find the missing dimension. So in this case, I know my area, which is 24x to the 8th. And I know my height, so I don't know my base. So I know my height, 2x to the second. I'm going to multiply it by my base. So I'm working backwards. So instead I'm going to divide. So 24x to the 8th divided by 2x to the second. Well, I already know 24 divided by 2 is 12. Take care of that. And then expanding out my exponents. X to the 8th and x to the second. I can see that these are going to cancel, and I'll be left with x to the 6th. So 12x to the 6th is my answer. And number 5, a circle has a radius of 4b to the 3rd, c to the 6 inches. What is the area of the circle? A equals pi r squared. Okay, so let's keep this in terms of pi. And if I want the area of the circle, I want to take pi radius. So here's my radius. And I want to square my radius. So I'll have 4b to the 3rd, c to the 6th. And I want to square that. So taking each and squaring, I know I'll have 16. And I'll have b to the 3rd 2 times. And I'll also have c to the 6th 2 times. And I also have pi, so I'm just going to kind of put pi down here at the end. Okay, so expanding that out, I have 16 times b to the 3rd, and another b to the 3rd, and a c to the 6th, and another c to the 6th, and pi. So I can put my b's together and I get 16b to the 6th. I can put my c's together and I get c to the 12th, and then I have pi. So my answer should be 16 b to the 6th, c to the 12th, pi. Number 6, find the volume of the rectangular prism. If you remember, volume is the area of the base times the height. So I want to find the area of my base and multiply by my height. And I like to choose my smaller as my base because it's just easier. So I want to find the area of the space and multiply by my height. Some people like to use the formula length times width times height. So that means I'm taking xy times 2xy to the second times 4x squared y to the 3rd. So x times y times 2 times x times y for my y to the second times 4 times x to the second times y to the 3rd. Okay, so grouping, oops, sorry about that. Grouping all things together. Putting my x's together. I have x to the 3rd. Don't want to forget about that 2 times 4. So 2 times 4 was 8. And then I also have my y. So y, so that makes y to the 6th. And my daughter wants to say hello to everybody. Go ahead, Riley.
Hi.
So tell them good luck.